I spend a lot of time traveling, right? And one time, I'm doing a show out in Virginia, and I walk into the room, and I get there like an hour in advance. There's already a guy there. He walks up to me. He immediately starts talking. I assume somehow we know each other, right? About 2 minutes in, I realize that I don't know him. So I ask him, like, yo, have we met before? And he's like, you don't recognize me? And I say, nah. And he's like, I watch you on YouTube all the time. And I was like, it's not like Skype. Like I can't see you. He's like, oh word, that's what's up. So the poem that he saw, right, where apparently I was looking back at him, it was this poem, it's a love poem medley kind of thing, right? Wow. Okay. So I'm gonna do that poem. Here we go. Are y'all ready? If y'all ready, say let's go. So the first part of this poem is called To the Girl Who Works at Starbucks Down the Street from My House on Delmar Heights Road. Swear to God, I'm not a stalker. That's the whole title. When I asked you for a chai latte, what I meant to say was, I was walking past, I saw you in the window, I came in here because I had to know what your voice sounded like. Instead of saying that, I got really nervous and ordered the first thing on the menu. Honestly, I don't even know what chai is. Or a latte, for that matter. See, I imagine that when God made you, I bet he cussed for the first time.
Come on.
I bet he turned to an angel, gave him a high five, and said, God damn, I'm good.
Come on.
You were that beautiful. I spent the last 5 days trying to figure out how I'm going to introduce myself to you properly. I finally figured it out. It's going to be something like, hi. That's all I got so far. But I think it's a good start. See, I want you to bite my lip until I can no longer speak. And then suck my ex-girlfriend's name out of my mouth just to make sure she never comes up in our conversations. I want you to come to me like an afternoon. Come to me slowly, as if you were a broken sunset with a lazy sky on your shoulders. If you let me be your sunlight, I promise I will penetrate your darkness until you speak in angel words. Pull me close to you. Tell me that you love me. And then scratch your future into my back so I can be everything that you live for. Scratch your future into my back so I can be everything that you live for. I promise that I will die for you daily and then resurrect in your screams. I promise that I will love you as if it's the only thing I've ever done correctly.
Come on!
See, I'm going to be honest. It's not often that I find myself eager to write about love. See, every time I try to write about love, my hands cramp.
Come on.
Just to show me how painful love can be. Sometimes my pencils break just to prove to me that every now and then love takes a little more work than you planned. See, I heard that love is blind, so I write all my poems in Braille. And my poems are never actually finished because true love is endless. See, I've always believed that real love is kind of like a supermodel before she's airbrushed. It's pure and imperfect, just the way that God intended. I'm going to be honest. It's not often that I find myself eager to write about love. But if I was to decide to write about love, see, my first poem, it would be about you. About how I love you the same way I learned how to ride a bike. Scared, but reckless. With no training wheels or elbow pads so my scars can tell the story of how I fell for you. I'm going to be honest, I'm not much of a love poet, but if I was, I'd write about how I see your voice, I see your face in every cloud, and your reflection in every window. You see, I've written a million poems hoping that somehow, maybe some way, you'll jump out of the page and be closer to me, because if you were here right now, I would massage your back until your skin sings songs that your lips don't even know the words to. Until your heartbeat sounds like my last name and you smile like the Pacific Ocean. I want to drink the sunlight in your skin. If I was a love poet, I'd write about how I melt in front of you like an ice sculpture every time I hear the vibration in your voice. And whenever I see your name on the caller ID, my heart, it plays hopscotch inside of my chest. And it climbs onto my ribs like monkey bars, and I feel like a child all over again. And I know it's going to sound weird, but sometimes I pray that God somehow turns you back into one of my ribs just so I would never have to spend an entire day without you. Sometimes I pray that God turns you back into one of my ribs just so I would never have to spend an entire day without you. And I swear I'm usually not even a love poet. But if I was to wake up tomorrow morning and decide that I was going to write about love, my first poem, it would be about you. After all of that, she was like, how do you feel about me? And I said, let's put it like this. I want to be your ex-boyfriend's stuntman.
Rewind.
I want to be your ex-boyfriend's stuntman. I want to do everything he never had the courage to do, like trust you. I swear that when our lips touch, I can taste the next 60 years of my life. Some days I want to swallow stacks of your pictures just so you can be a part of me for a little bit longer. You see, last night I had a dream. In this particular dream, I died in my dreams, awoke not knowing I was still sleeping, decided to walk that night. I walked in my sleep. I slept in my walk. I walked backwards until I saw you for the first time, and I could barely muster the courage to introduce myself all over again. You see, I've been trying to find the right words. I've been trying to take the right steps to what seems to me like thousands of years, but something always seems to go wrong between us. We lived in Egypt. I was the Pharaoh's slave. You were his daughter. Loving you led to my death. They claimed that I seduced you, and after they stole my life, I was resurrected as a mason. I made the foundation for your house. We met eyes. For 2 seconds you left, and I didn't see you again until I died. I came back as a caterpillar. I turned into a butterfly. I landed in the palm of your hands. You brushed me away, and the rejection killed me. When I woke, I was a kick drum. You were a snare. You were a snare. We were both owned by this drummer named Cozy Cola. When he died, so did we. But I came back just to look for you. I left notes in random places, hoping that you would stumble across them. I carved our names in trees, then prayed that it would jog your memory. I whispered your name in the wind, hoping somehow, maybe some way my voice would reach you, but it didn't. And I died early. I died young with breadcrumbs in my hand, just hoping that you would find me, but you never did. So they buried me. When they buried me, they put these coins over my eyes, and I used them as bus fare to get back to earth. And I used them as bus fare to get back to earth, just so I could look for you. That's why sometimes when we hold hands, every so often I hold on a little too tight. I'm sorry. Just don't want to lose you again. My mother, she told me, when you find the perfect woman, you do whatever it takes to make sure she stays next to you.